Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Earthly Headlines. Today, I got a quick video about this pretty interesting article about the discovery of a severed head of a giant 40,000-year-old wolf discovered in Russia. This is incredible. Here's a well-preserved 40,000-year-old head of the wolf in question. Now, once I start reading the measurements of this thing, be prepared to not spit out your coffee, because this is pretty groundbreaking for a number of reasons, and it has to do with megafauna and the ubiquity of megafauna less than 50,000 years ago into the Pleistocene. Let's just get into it, because this is insane. You can still see the hair on the thing and the nose. It looks like this thing just lived not too long ago. Just like with all these types of discoveries, a local man discovered a severed. It's severed. Okay, that's important. Like, how did the head come off like that? There's just so many questions here. So this local man finds it in Yakutia. It's in Siberia here. So this is Yakutia here. Okay, like right in the heart of Siberia. And I got some cool Siberia maps here. So it would be basically between these two, the Lena River and the Yenisei River. Okay, anyway. And then he just randomly found the severed head of an ancient wolf that was well preserved by permafrost. If you guys don't know, permafrost is basically frozen earth, essentially. And in order to have permafrost, it had to have been cold there for many, 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 many years. So it still had a full head of hair and sharp fangs, as you can see in the photo here. It looks like it just lived a couple months ago. And then this guy, his name's Pavel Efimov, he hands the head over to scientists, and then they dated it to over 40,000 years ago. I don't know the details of their analysis in terms of like what they used, but anything that well preserved, you could, if you're a scientist, you could extract a lot of information from that. And this wolf is gonna change how we view the relationship between dogs and wolves, large gray wolves, or the dire wolves from the Pleistocene. So I did one of my first episodes I did was about coyotes and dogs and wolves and their relations. So in that video I mentioned that there was still a lot of stuff we didn't know because of a lack of discovery of an ancient intact wolf. So this is huge. So their analysis revealed that the wolf was fully grown and was between 2 to 4 years old when it died. So some of the ancient wolves that we've had from like 30,000 years ago to like 50,000 years ago, we've only found fragments of them. And they were juveniles, or they thought strongly that they were juveniles. This is a full-grown wolf, so check out how big it was. So the head alone is 16 inches. That's half the size of a modern wolf's body. So again, just to imagine, this head is half the size of an entire wolf that lives today. Incredible. So a modern wolf can range from 26 to 34 inches long. These are the first remains to be found of a well-preserved, fully grown wolf from the Pleistocene. People have previously found other remains of ancient wolves, such as a mummified wolf pup that lived over 50,000 years ago in Canada. I mentioned that, and it was mummified, so go figure what was that about. How did people 50,000 years ago know about mummification? And the only other place we see mummification are some of the speculated places of where the ancient Atlanteans went to. So South America, Egypt, and so on, Turkey. In 2015, scientists analyzed the evolutionary split between dogs and wolves using DNA from a 35,000-year-old wolf rib bone discovered also in Siberia. So there was a lot going on in Siberia at the time. It's a plateau. There are mountain ranges. It's a very interesting ecosystem. There are the Urals to the east, and then of course there's the Krasnoyarsk River, the Ob River. There's all these networks of rivers that are feeding into the Arctic Ocean. And it's just very interesting what this place would have looked like in its heyday. Now it's just all ice and permafrost. But back in the day, there was a lot of megafauna living here, and megafauna wouldn't live there if there wasn't food for them in abundance for them to survive. So the next steps now are to examine the DNA from the newly discovered wolf head and compare the genetic information to modern wolves. That's the obvious course of action here, just to see the discrepancies and to map out that genome. The wolf head went on display in Tokyo as part of an exhibition on woolly mammoths and other frozen creatures. So yeah, this came from Live Science, by the way, so you guys can check it out. Like I said, this is going to change a lot of what we know about dogs and human-dog relations. Again, this is a severed head. So there aren't that many things in nature that would A, cut off the head of a victim or of an animal, and B, let it stay there without consuming it or something. So there are a lot of mysteries here. So it was, to me, a severed head trapped in the permafrost is indicative of some type of human activity. It just seems to me that the odds would be so astronomical that the wolf had its head removed from its body by some natural phenomenon, plus being trapped in permafrost to survive 40,000 plus years. So there's a lot of questions here. Anyway, there's a lot of soft tissue left, so we could do a lot of analysis like CT scans and extracting DNA and all sorts of stuff, examining the hair. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep us posted on the details of this, because this is basically a biological treasure trove of information that we're about to get dumped on us. So let me know what you guys think about Pleistocene animals, megafauna, extinction events, wolves, dogs, domestication, whatever it is, let me know. And I've had some great comments in the past. I've just been a little bit busy to address them, so I want to do a video just addressing some of those comments. And also, my 150th episode is coming up. It took me just maybe less than 11 months, 10 months to get there. So I think I've been on a pretty good pace. My subscriber count has gone from when I started, I was at about like 400 or something. Now I'm at like almost 1,100. Oh, I'm over 1,100. So thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll talk to you guys later.